It's the NFL on EA Sports. And coming up, we'll see Kenneth Walker. He had a nice effort a week ago with a pair of touchdowns. It's the Saints and the Texans, next on Madden Football.
On a wonderful fall afternoon in the state of Texas, the roof is open, and we've got football from NRG Stadium in Houston. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here, as it'll be the New Orleans Saints taking on the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. And they've lost 3 straight here, and it goes without saying, I guess, they could certainly use a win.
And how do they get a win? Because they've lost 3 straight, I think it's paramount that they get a fast, clean start to this game.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Saints, they're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. And they will elect to not bring this one out, as our first drive will begin at the 25. So here are the Texans now with a fresh face at quarterback, the second overall pick from Ohio State, C.J. Stroud.
And there was a positive in last week's loss. No interceptions thrown by him. But he only threw 1 touchdown pass, and you know he wants that to improve. He might even consider that as part of the reason that they couldn't take the win last time out. I believe we'll see a more aggressive version of him this week whenever they're nearing the end zone.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. That's George Karlaftis, who fought his way through the line to bury him.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
Now a throw here to his running back. A good... 15 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on 1st down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at 3rd down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
Throwing now is Stroud. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Texans first down. He needed 5. He got it barely, as it will officially go down as a gain of 5 yards. A man coming up. Oh, he's hit. He lost the football. Put it on the carpet. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. You look at the Saints defense. They were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
That was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Stroud on 3rd down now. And he's taken down here by the Saints. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. Let's just take it around the 12. Following the punt return here, there is someone shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. The leading rusher among rookies a season ago. Here's Kenneth Walker. The numbers for Walker from last week's effort. 2 trips to the end zone and well past 100 yards.
And going back and watching the film, we saw every kind of run from him, didn't we? We saw some power, we saw finesse, we saw speed, and what I love the most, he finished each and every run.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. To throw is Jackson. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this 1st quarter. On 1st and 10, it's Evans. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down. What did you see there on the defensive side? What allowed that good-sized run?
Well, they were in a cover 2 alignment, which means your 2 safeties are back away from the line of scrimmage. So if you can match up your blocking at the line, at the point of attack, there's usually some room, a big gap between that 2nd level and 3rd, and that's what they were able to exploit.
So, Charles, you look at this offense, so what a start to the season. 5 wins without a loss. When do you think that you start believing that maybe you're in the midst of something special?
Well, you and I both know every head coach never wants that thought to creep into a locker room. But the truth of the matter is, not quite at this time, because if we look at the Steelers in 2020, they're a great example. Remember, they started 11-0, then lost 5 and 6 and went out in the 1st round. But I think if you get toward mid-November, the Thanksgiving time frame, and you're still doing this, that's when things start to get real for a ball club.
4 yards on the pickup, good enough to extend the drive. The Saints hit a perfect 5-0 here to begin the campaign. And they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And this team is absolutely playing their best football right now. This is the best that we've seen them play in a long time, partner. Sky's the limit as far as they're concerned. Their confidence really soaring.
Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. A.T. Perry with his 1st career NFL touchdown. And the Saints are on the board first here this afternoon. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
And he returns this to the 22. So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. In the midst of, well, let's just say a not-so-rosy losing streak. They've got the open week, though, coming up next weekend, so you have to figure this to be a game that they dearly love to have.
Oh, indeed. They have to have this one because that's something positive to take with you when you go away for a few days, and it actually releases your mind. If they lose this one, That mind stays cluttered the entire time they're away, and they've got to scramble to get back in sync when they start playing again.
Stroud to the air on 1st and 10. This will be complete to Mechie.
Only able to gain a couple there, and that'll make it 2nd down.
You look at the Saints defense.
They were strong last week, CD, and that win over New England.
And the big thing for them was the interceptions. And you hear teams all the time talk about establishing themselves against the pass, no-fly zones and things of that nature. This group had a bunch of them in last week's game.
And Stroud now to throw. Open man, complete downfield to Davis.
And this is going to be another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Saints 35. A really good pickup of 28 yards. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
1st and 10, it's Pierce.
And he'll be taken down at the 34.
Now the numbers for Pierce last week.
15 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown.
That's a very nice winning streak that they're on, and they've really seen this offense come into its own as a unit. And one of the keys is that the ground game has been established, and it's keeping the defense honest near the line of scrimmage. Sometimes that leads to huge games for him. Other times, he plays a complementary role to someone else. But however it's getting done, they're winning week after week.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. 23 yards to pick up there.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Now Stroud. Getting the football to Davis on an out route.
And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the 1st quarter of play.
Ready for the 2nd quarter from Houston. It's the Texans in possession of the football, as they've got it with a 2nd and 4 coming up.
Ready, set.
Now a 1st carry for their fullback.
Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not go down easily. You're right, but he did there.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud.
And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston.
Gabriel Davis, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Texans are an extra point away now from tying this ball game.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and we are tied at 7.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Taken at the goal line. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their 2nd drive.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
On the counter, it's Walker.
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Jackson, options out left. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 14 yards that time, and a 1st down on the keeper.
Pretty ideal right there. Keep it yourself, get the 1st down, and get the heck out of bounds.
And knowing him, I believe he's thinking, I can get a few more yards if I just lower my shoulder. but he also hears that second voice in his head. His head coach, and probably his agent too, saying, get out of bounds, man. Don't do that.
So the completion good for just 3. And it'll be second down.
A give up the middle to Evans.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown.
Zach Evans, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year.
And the Saints have taken the lead. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Moody good with the extra point.
And that makes the score 14-7.
So after the made field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25. C.J. Stroud and the offense back out there.
Last series, the ball never hit the ground. 6 of 6, touchdown pass, so whatever he did then, do it again, right?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of when I watch the best quarterbacks throw 7-on-7 or even routes versus air. They're accurate. The receivers catch it. The ball never touches the ground. Or if you want to take it to basketball, a well-executed fast break, right? Pass, 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 finish at the rim, basket. Yeah, the ball never hits the ground there either.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
And Pierce gets it again on 2nd down.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Here's Stroud.
And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack.
Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. This will be fielded at the 17. Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
So here are the Saints to take over. Remember, they're riding that 5-game winning streak, and right now in the driver's seat in this ball game as well. Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down.
And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble. Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Jackson now on 2nd and 10. And his throw is incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Jackson.
He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield.
And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 30. A very solid gain of 27. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 30-yard line. Jackson will throw again.
Setting up the screen here. This is Walker.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards. Back to the 33.
13 yards remaining on second down. On second down, it's Walker.
And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. We've hit the 2-minute mark in the second quarter. 14-7. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on third down.
Walker with another carry.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
And his kick is good. And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7.
So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about one-score lead, two-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They trail by 10, 17-7 as they come up on a 1st and 10.
Stroud to throw it. That is caught by Dell. He's still on his feet.
And did he get in? No, down at the 1-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 74 yards. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal.
Here's Pierce. Touchdown, Houston. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play and actually saved it until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a successful drive.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes. Back-to-back, what a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. The rush defense stout on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Jackson. This is caught. It's Brown. And they're able to get this one across the 35. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
Play action. Now Jackson. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now, just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Off the play fake, here's Jackson.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. That one goes for 30 yards.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Here's Jackson to throw.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Derek Stingley picks it, and he will be brought down on
on what will be the final play of this first half. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Saints out on top. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll get started over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. And it's the visitors who are out in front in the second quarter. Jahan Dotson, a strong performance there. Next, we head up to the Windy City. Check on the Bears at home, Soldier Field. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Minnesota Vikings. Khalil Herbert with a touchdown run. Finally, let's get down to Miami to see what's going on with the Dolphins. As you can see, the score there in the second quarter. The Panthers still in a dogfight, but this would be a good victory for them if they could get it. This one's been as good as advertised. Just a field goal separating these two teams. This is a very level first half, and I'd expect to see more of the same after the break. These two clubs running through their final halftime adjustments. It's just about time to get back at it. And for the call of the second half, we go back out to Houston, H-Town, and Brandon Gaudin.
Okay, Coach, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. But Charles, for them, pretty good first half on the ground. They had some success running the ball in quarters 1 and 2, and they've got the lead now, a chance to expand upon that lead here with their first drive in the third quarter.
Yeah, believe it or not, you and I have noticed that this great game of football has shifted towards pass first, run second. So for me, it's really nice to see some of these teams keeping the ground game as a big component of their offense, and it's working pretty well for them now. And let's face it, they can continue to do damage with it. And in addition, it sets up the pass game really well for them, too.
10 yards, good for the Saints, first down. Jackson, options out left. Now bottled up, fumble. It's out, it's loose. And the Texans scoop it. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. So that play, I mean, it was pretty well blown up from the start, and it results in a turnover.
Yeah, when you're running the option like that as a quarterback, you have so many different keys and reads to make that sometimes as you're making them, you're not protecting the ball the way you should.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. George Karlaftis picks up his second sack of the afternoon. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Stroud looking to throw. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred the defense.
Fairbairn able to put this one through, and that will tie things at 17-all. So the fumble recovery had them set up in ideal field position, but they can muster only 3 points out of it.
Yeah, when you're able to force turnovers, especially when it results in field position like they had, you really want to make it hurt. Here, they take the field goal. That's definitely not what they were hoping for.
The New Orleans offense set to take over. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because it didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
Coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think Coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for this with Evans. And he is going to have a Saints first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1.
That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Now Jackson on 2nd down.
This one taken in by Olave.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And this Texans defense stands tall.
Now they'll throw it with Stroud here, 1st and 10. Gets the dump off to Pierce.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
On 2nd down, here's Pierce.
And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down.
Check. Unlock line.
And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line.
14 yards that time and a first down on the keeper.
I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
Here's 2nd and 3.
Alert. Ready.
Here's Pierce on the counter.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
On the ready.
It's 3rd down and 5.
Stroud. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. First time they've looked his way in this game, he comes through picking up the first.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
1st and 10, it's Stroud. This will be complete to Mechie.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
2nd down and a little more than a yard here. Throwing now is Stroud.
Throw left side complete. That's Schultz. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
No. 19 Tiger.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he is going to have the Texans first down. At least it would appear that way. He didn't get it by much, but yes, they do get the conversion on 3rd and 1. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. And he finds his target. It's Schultz. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. We have played 3 quarters. Back now in Houston. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. 2nd down and 12 at the 19-yard line. Now Stroud. That's caught again by Schultz. And a good game here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There it is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll run here with Pierce. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4 on the 1st down play.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the 2nd half. That's just his 2nd incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. A nightmare on 3rd and goal. He's sacked, and multiple players broke through the line to get him. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And with that, they take the lead here, 20-17. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
The Saints coming out now to take the field. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. Jackson on 1st down. Got an open man here. It's K.J. Hamler. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Walker now on 1st and 10. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. And when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. On the option right is Jackson. Oh, no, he lost the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
And now Jackson will look to throw it. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down. A field goal from this spot would be 51 yards. They'll try to move it closer on 3rd down. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about when my coach as a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Well, you talk about clutch. That one was right down Broadway, and this game's all even here in the fourth.
Yeah, he didn't leave any doubt, did he? Good snap, good hold, dead center. Almost like a big-time golfer in a major, firing at a pin from the fairway, trying to win the tournament going down the stretch.
Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the fourth as the kick's away. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25. And now out comes Houston. And we essentially have a brand new ball game. After that last field goal has tied us all up, we brace for what should be an exciting rest of this fourth quarter. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And Pierce gets it again on second down. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. This will be a loss of 3 and now a much tougher third down looming. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. Stroud on third down now. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Byron Murphy. Third and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him. And what I mean by that is what you said. Third and long. Got to push it downfield to try and pick up the first down. Defensive backs live for this situation. And they took advantage of the young man right there.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And the question, can they turn that interception into points? A tie game for the moment in the fourth quarter. Oh, design run for their wideout. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Up the middle, here's Walker. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
He completes it to Olave. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2.
Partner, you know when we call a game, we talk about Lamar Jackson and his speed and his elusiveness and the ability to get him on the ground, how tough that is for a defense. But how about his development as a thrower, as a professional? Let's roll.
Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
2nd down, goal to go. Jackson to throw. And that one going to be off target and incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here? Or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Walker. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. They'll run for it. It's Nwangu. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Kene Nwangu punching it in from a yard away. And the Saints have broken this deadlock and have taken the lead here in the fourth. Moody good with the extra point, and they will take a 7-point lead. So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away. No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25. So Stroud and the Texans down 27-20. Less than 90 seconds to go. A fourth straight defeat looming on the horizon, barring a comeback here as they've got it with a first down.
Come on.
Stroud. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Here's Stroud. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Fourth down, fourth quarter. Here's Stroud. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. We got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on first down. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. On second down, here's Nwangu. And they'll get him down right around the 16.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instinct. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. On third down, here's Walker. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the first, right around the 15.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Here we go. Set.
The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to perhaps salt this one away. And his kick here is good. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here's 1st and 10.
26-yard line.
Stroud to throw it. And that one to the right side and incomplete.
And now defensively in the 2-minute drill, the big key to me, make sure you understand your assignments, and anytime you get a chance to tackle someone in bounds, get them on the ground.
One final shot for C.J. Stroud. He's going to let it fly. And that is going to officially draw the curtain on this one as the last throw intercepted. Picked up by Amani Hooker. And the Saints are going to have it here just past the 25. And for the visitors, it is going to be a happy flight home. It is always such a treat, Charles, in the NFL when you can go on the road and get a victory, and that's exactly what they accomplished here today.
The trip home so much sweeter, isn't it? All the noise they heard before, how tough it is to win on the road, how tough it is to play in this stadium, how hyped up that crowd's going to be. They just used it as fuel, came in full of confidence, believed in themselves, and got it done.
So for New Orleans, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Texans, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And now they'll head to the bye week as they'll be back in action in Week 8. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.